everyone, it's Matthew here from the SDGC talking to Sean from Yacht Club Games. You might have heard of them. How are you today, Sean?
Hey, I'm doing real good.
I bet you guys are one of the stars of the show.
Yeah, right here on the ground floor, it's a little bit hard to tell. The internet is sort of spotty, so we're in the dark. I'm not sure how big it is, but I think so far, at least judging by everyone's response, it's been really, really good.
So, for those that don't know, obviously you are the house that brought Shovel Knight, but you also blew everyone's mind by announcing your first published game. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is actually our second published game.
That's what I meant to say.
It's totally cool. Our first one was Azure Striker Gunvolt.
That's right, with Inti.
Yeah, with Indie Creates. That's right. Yeah, She's right there. But that paved the way for us to kind of flex our publishing arm a little bit, and so now Cyber Shadow is our next big old publishing game. Yeah, and unlike Azure Striker Gunvolt, this one we got a little bit more involved. Azure Striker Gunvolt was finished.
Right.
And so this is still in development, so it's not exactly a code development, nothing like that. It's Arne's game 100%, but we're there to give feedback and provide some insight that we've learned from working on Shovel Knight and how to demo a game at PAX and doing stuff like that.
Old hat to you. Speaking of demoing games at PAX, obviously we have Cyber Shadow, which we will discuss, but you also have the long-awaited Shovel Knight King of Cards expansion and Shovel Knight Showdown. What do you want to tell us about that?
Well, it's cool to have King of Cards out here again. It's I'm really sorry it's not done, but it's so close. I'm really proud of King of Cards. It's just enormous and strange, and Spectre of Torment was like the Tight 5. It's a quick bunch of levels that you get into and you get out of, but King Knight is a game that you soak in. You play the card game and you go from level to level, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I wasted 45 minutes, and I'm not even sure what I was doing. It's cool to be able to soak in a game like that. And also, King Knight is a funnier game than Spectre Knight, and it's I hope people enjoy it. It's strange, but I'm excited. Yeah.
What about Showdown?
Shovel Knight Showdown. Well, I'm happy that the response has gone how it is. It's always hard. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. We need more monitors as well, right? It would be good if we had two going at the same time. But the game, I think, has gotten to be relatively balanced. The big characters are really fun to play as, in addition to the small characters. We were worried that maybe Polar Knight versus Tinker Knight would never work, but it really seems to. And it's fun to play as all those characters that you've seen as bosses for so many games, but haven't had a chance to take control of. And there's a story for every character. There's a story mode. I don't want to oversell it too much, but there's an intro and a middle and an outro.
More than just battle.
Yeah, you have a rival character. There's a little cutscene at the end, and so for some characters that weren't highlighted in the Shovel Knight series proper, you could play as them here and get a little snippet of story and learn about their personalities.
So those that don't know, what do you do at Yacht Club Games? What is Sean's role?
I do game design and direction, and I was one of the original founding yacht clubbers. So we
way back when
6 years ago in this very spot here at PAX East in 2013 is when we did the Shovel Knight Kickstarter for the first time.
Back in the day, proud member.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. So we're doing.
So I want to pass it over to Arne and transition to talk about Cyber Shadow, but I will have one final question for you.
Okay.
Just
stand by.
Tag. Hello, how are you, Arne?
Pretty good.
And so you are Cyber Shadow and Mechanical Heads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about your studio and your game?
Well, my studio is a corner in my living room, and the game is all of my favorite childhood things put together.
Yeah, you can definitely see the influences. We were discussing that as I played. You can feel the old school Castlevania. You can feel the Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man. You said.
Yeah.
It's so good. How have you been feeling about how everyone's reacted to it so far?
Well, I've been alone for the 3 years making the game, having no idea if it's good or not. So pretty stressful coming here. But after seeing people play it, huge relief. It's great.
Has Boston been welcoming for you in PAX East? Because you're from Finland, you said, right?
Yeah, it's a new country, a lot of fun. The food is great, people are great. It's been very good.
Good. That's good to hear. Now, with Yacht Club, how did that partnership come about?
Well, Sandy and I were like following each other on Twitter, and he was like, "Should we do something together?" And I was like, "No, never." Like early on, I was like, I lost my faith in humanity, and I was like, "I'll do everything myself." But these guys, they offered help on the level design, and their level design is so good, and I was like, "Okay, let's do this."
You know, the fact that it's a one-man team is really blowing my mind. I think the last time that happened at that level was, have you ever heard of Axiom Verge?
Yeah, that's a big inspiration.
And it's that good. Like, you're on that same level already. It's crazy. Do you have obviously you don't have a release date, but do you have a targeted window that you're hoping for?
This year.
This year? High five on that one. Oh my goodness. I don't want to wait that long.
Me neither.
How can people follow you on Twitter as well and like support the game and follow the progress?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Megaskull.
With a K.
With a K, yeah.
We'll have it like on the screen right here.
And I'd like people to like throw in suggestions. Like a lot of the game has been like people throwing out ideas on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
So, have you had a chance to explore PAX at all? Have you found anything that you've enjoyed playing?
Yeah, everybody should absolutely play Blazing Chrome.
Yes.
It's like Contra, but modern, and it has multiplayer, and it's just super good.
It's like Metal Slug Contra. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's awesome. So I'm going to bring Sean back in, and we're going to ask our final question. And my cameraman hates this question, but we're going to do it because I love it. So if you have to choose in your heart of hearts, cake or pie?
Pie. Cake, definitely. Chocolate cake.
Uh-oh. You know, there is no wrong answer, but it's always fun to see where people go with that.
I was a little worried for a minute.
Did you think it was a trick or something?
I'm glad it wasn't an uncomfortable question.
No, of course. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, both of you. I know Yacht Club has been one of the busiest booths here, and I know you must just be all over the place. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a great PAX.
You too.
And have a safe flight back.